Welcome to Tips, the Townsend Institute podcast series, a show produced by the Townsend Institute at Concordia University, Irvine. This podcast shares stories of leadership, coaching, and counseling experiences that have shaped the lives and careers of our guests, who then provide tips aimed toward helping listeners grow in both their personal and professional lives. I'm Dr. John Townsend, psychologist, organizational consultant, and author of over 30 books, including the New York Times best-selling Boundaries series. I'm also the founder of the Townsend Institute, and I'm excited to introduce your podcast hosts, Dr. Ashley Andrew and Dr. Gilbert Fugit.
Welcome back, everyone, to our third and final episode of the TIPS Presidential Series. Ashley and I are joined by Concordia University Irvine Student Body President Natalie Annunziato. As Natalie wraps up her senior year and approaches graduation, let's listen in as she shares the latest in her leadership journey.
You got it, Gilbert. Natalie's leadership experience spans less years compared to our previous guests, but it is just as rich in learning and relationships. Listen into her valuable stories and growth of leadership over the years and how this will likely prepare her for her next stage after college. Let's get started. Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Townsend Institute podcast series. Gilbert and I are joined here today by our ASCUI President, Natalie. Welcome. Good morning, Natalie.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Welcome.
We are so excited to have you here and to hear a little bit more about yourself and your leadership role here as the Student Body President at Concordia Irvine. But before we get into that fun stuff, just tell us a little bit more about yourself and how you landed as a student at Concordia Irvine.
Yeah, so I am from Rancho Cucamonga, California, Inland Empire, about an hour away from Concordia Irvine. I am from a big Italian family, as you might be able to tell from my last name, Annunziato. It's very Italian. So I'm the youngest of 6 children. I have 5 older siblings, and I went to a really small high school, and so I kind of got used to the close community with all my friends and being close to the teachers and having that relationship. And so I just knew I wanted to be at a school, a university that kind of had that same feel. I didn't want the culture shock of a huge university with a bunch of people I don't know. I just value relationships so much, and I wanted to make sure that I could cultivate those relationships at my school. And also my brother went here, so he loved it. And so I knew that it'd be a good fit for me. I love Irvine. I love being close to the beach. So yeah, I'm a psych major and a graphic design minor here. And I'm a senior.
A senior, yeah. So you're getting ready to jump into the world here in a little while with some different things, huh?
Yes, we will see.
Well, Natalie, this is a elected position, right? You gotta run, you gotta put posters up. Well, I don't know. Do you even put posters up anymore? Probably not. I don't know if you do posters.
We do.
Okay. Yeah, you put some posters up, right?
Well, and I'm sure she had the best looking ones as a graphic design minor. I can only imagine the campaign.
Do you remember your theme? Did you have a theme?
I didn't really have a theme. I just I just think it's fun to decorate a poster. It's just made it cute, put it up, add some bright colors on there.
There you go.
Attention getting. So what inspired you, though, to run for ASCUI President? And maybe what are some leadership experiences during your time at Concordia?
I have been on this ASCUI team for the past 2 years. I served as the communications director for my sophomore and junior year, which basically was just all the marketing and the event stuff for just announcing events, different events on campus to the students. And I loved it. I loved being on this team. I loved my boss, so I just knew I wanted to continue. And
who's your boss? Who's your boss?
Amanda Norris. Shout out Amanda Norris. I love her so much. She's the best. She's the best mentor. She's helped me grow so much in the past 3 years. But I knew that I was ready to kind of step into this bigger position. I knew what the role entailed. I knew what to expect, and I felt like I was ready to almost run the team, because obviously we're overseen by Amanda, but the president really like facilitates the whole group. And so I knew I was like ready to step into that next position. And I've always been interested in leadership. And so I knew this would be a really awesome opportunity. And in the past at Concordia, I also did summer resident assistant. So I kind of worked with the RAs over the summer and the resident directors and kind of worked with them and helped the residents over the summer feel like included and having like events and stuff like that over the summer. So that was really awesome too. And just like random projects that they'd assign us over the summer, which was really fun. I also was a leadership academy coach this summer for our high school leadership academy, which was really awesome. That was a really cool experience. I learned a lot as well as like I don't know, I was supposed to be like the coach and like teaching these students, but I also felt like I was learning from them and like the speakers that we had. So that was really awesome. Um, and then I also was a speaker for student leadership training this year for my peers. So that was awesome. I got to speak about like mental health and taking care of yourself and how to be a good leader and what that means if you're not taking care of yourself. So kind of like speaking that self-care, self-love side into leadership.
In the Townsend Institute, we talk about the self-care piece and the need to have yourself taken care of personally before you can really ever go out and positively influence others. Can you talk a little bit more about maybe what some of that training looks like, whether it's what you received as part of the Leadership Academy or what you continue to do? What sorts of traits, techniques, models, things like that do you discuss?
In the student leadership training or the high school leadership academy or both?
I would say either one. You said you took a lot from that experience. So I would love to know, like, was it a particular speaker? Was it a moment? Was it just something that like opened your eyes to like, I'd never really thought of leadership like that?
Yeah, okay. I guess something that really stuck out to me in the high school leadership academy, we had a speaker, I can't remember his name. He was one of the managers at Chick-fil-A
Mm-hmm.
nearby, and he was awesome. He talked about just the importance of small acts and
Yeah.
how they really go a long way, and how it doesn't always have to be a crazy big thing that you do for people, but it's the
Mm-hmm.
small things that they remember and that really leave an impact on somebody. So the example he gave was like when it's raining, this specific store will have umbrellas and walk out the customers to their cars. And
Mm,
I was like, that is such a good like small thing that you just really remember about
mm-hmm.
a place, and it's
Yeah.
like not that much work for somebody to do, but it's just like somebody going a little bit out of their way to do something nice for you for no benefit to themselves. And that's something that I really wanted to like take in and like have as a SUI team this year. I kind of gave that example. It's like, what is something we can do that's small, maybe like once a month for the students that they'll feel like, wow, this was really awesome of them to do. So whether
Mhm.
that's just like showing up to the sports games as a team or showing up to a musical or giving out energy drinks during finals week, like stuff like that, that's just like small, but people are like, oh, wow, that was really awesome. I feel like
Yeah.
that is such a big part of leadership. And that's something that I really took away from that. So,
I think that's a great example. And I think those examples you gave too, they don't often take a lot of time, right? So going to an event is a couple hours, and what a great way to fill your time as a student. And it doesn't necessarily have to take a lot of money either.
mhm.
Hmm.
And that was a great example for Chick-fil-A. They probably don't have to do it a lot because it is Southern California. So you can count the amount of days of
True.
rain
That's true. A
True.
on
few
one
days
or
of
two events.
rain, right?
Yeah.
So, I
Now,
mean,
Chick-fil-A walking people out in climate weather, say in Kansas, where
oh,
Gilbert's from, might be a little different.
Yeah.
that took a little more. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
You'd
took
have to get a Chick-fil-A first back there, right,
We
Gilbert?
did not have a Chick-fil-A ever. Where I grew up, I don't think there's one within 50 miles of my
I
house.
figured.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Natalie, I wanted to ask you though a little bit. We were talking earlier, and you mentioned a really great thing that you lead here on campus that I think really goes into, I think, develop some leadership skills. It's a grief group. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how that happened?
yes. So I want to say it was the fall of 2022, me and my friend Kathleen started a peer like led grief group. It's called Lean on Me. We put posters up to invite people to join us if they've lost a loved one or a friend or someone close to them, or just experiencing some sort of grief in their life, and they want to connect with people who have also been through it. Sometimes it's intimidating to get yourself to go to therapy or a group with people you don't know. So we just kind of wanted to start our own Concordia led, like student led group that we partner with the Wellness Center, but it's led by students. So hopefully it's less intimidating than if it was led by somebody licensed or professional. I feel like that sometimes can scare students away. So we started that, and it's been really awesome. We have a couple girls that come every month. We have a meeting once a month, but we do check in with each other through like text messages or Instagram messaging every week or so, just to make sure that we're all doing okay. Or if we need extra support, it's just like a quick like, hey guys, I'm having a rough day today. And then we all will just send sweet messages or quotes or a Starbucks gift card or whatever, just to show that like you're still being thought about and that they still have that support, even though maybe the loss happened a little while ago, just to show that like there's still support and there's still love around you, and we don't forget about the people you lost. And we'll just check and be like, oh, how are you feeling? Like, do you miss your dad today? Or how are you feeling about his anniversary is coming up? Like, how does that make you feel? Or what do you need from me during this day? Or I got you ice cream because I knew that it was a rough day for you. So just like showing that support to these girls, I think has been so helpful for me too, just to have that group and that connection with other people who like really understand, because I think that grief is something that you don't get until you get it. And I didn't know how to support people before I lost my dad in 2021, and now I feel like I am so much better at supporting people because I know what
Yeah.
I need
Right.
this time. So yeah, it's been really awesome.
Well, that's that empathy piece, right? I mean, really truly being able to feel kind of what someone might be going through based on your experiences. Well, I love that you shared that, Natalie, because oftentimes I think student leadership positions are considered, are seen as maybe being some more of the surface level stuff. Like you said, the posters promoting events and the making sure the student body knows about the upcoming basketball game. And those are all really important things. But the fact that you've taken it deeper to really connect with students on a completely different level is amazing. So very, very fortunate to have you. That, of course, has to be one of your projects I'm assuming you're most passionate and proud of. What other initiatives and projects have you and your team brought to kind of the student experience over the years?
Yeah, so every year we just want to get closer and closer to unifying like the student body as a whole. I know that sometimes our athletes and our student leaders are just seen as like two completely different like sides of the campus, and that we don't like mesh and we don't mix. And so definitely a project that we have always been passionate about as ASCUI is like bridging that gap between the different groups on campus and really wanting to like connect with them and have them excited about our events as we are excited about theirs. So we definitely want to like cultivate that like relationship between the different groups. So that's something that like we really try to work on every year, of just like, let's try to go to this sports game, because when you support people, like they'll support you. And like we really just want to like show that in our group.
I love that part about unifying the groups, because you're coming to it from a student perspective in terms of the different groups that are present on campus, but taking it to different leadership positions. I think about any sort of organization outside of the educational experience, you're going to have different departments, you're going to have different groups. And so I think that's something that all leaders can keep in mind. And perhaps you will too, as you go on into your career, is I'm still unifying people. My goal is still to create a particular culture or to bring a certain level of passion and enthusiasm. And it doesn't matter if you are on a college campus or in a boardroom or a high-rise building or working from home. I think those same kind of goals probably still exist. So I'd love to know, it's hard to say now because we know you're not at graduation yet, but what are maybe one or two of the biggest traits or skills or kind of like leadership concepts that you're pretty confident you're going to take with you after graduation?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let's see. I would probably just say, like including people. I love
Mhm.
to include people in anything I do and like getting them kind of just to get excited about the things that I get excited about. So I don't know, just connecting with people in general is I feel like a trait of mine that I will carry with me and not being afraid to like go out and like get people excited about things that maybe I wouldn't normally talk to them or um I don't know, just cultivating that relationship with them and getting everyone to work on a certain project together and make it come to life and get everyone excited about it. I have a lot of enthusiasm in my
We can sense that, and
leadership.
it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's definitely a strength of mine in you know, you don't want to have someone as a leader who's not excited about things and is
Right.
just like on autopilot all the time. So I like to just like amp up people and get people excited. And I feel like that's something that I'll definitely take with me and carry with me as I
Definitely.
go on.
Well, your passion, your excitement is contagious, so it
Yes.
definitely helps. And then we talk a lot here. We use Patrick Lencioni's working genius language, pretty
Huh?
common. They're a good partner of the Institute. And so you have galvanizer written
Galvanizing.
all over you. And that is so
Yeah.
important to have as a team because you can have wonderful projects and you can have wonderfully tenacious people to get them done or to invent them or all of those things. But if you don't have someone to really rally the troops to
Yes.
help get everyone on board, chances are it's going to fall short and not come to fruition. That's no fun.
Mhm. It's true. Yeah, I did take the working genius. I think I think my high ones were like tenacity, galvanizer, and like enhancer. Is that what it is?
Inventor.
Or
I bet an invention or
Inventor or
enabler.
enablement or
Enablement.
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 That's
I
the
can
one.
see you. Yeah.
I'm
Galvanizing and
actually not an
enabling.
inventor. I'm like really bad at coming up with ideas, but I can make them come to life.
There you go.
Well, it's funny. We took that too, and I just assumed that Ashley had invention and stuff, but she is
None.
tenacity and enablement, right? Weren't you that? Yeah. So yeah, that
I
was
am. I am. It was actually very eye-opening for Gilbert and I's working relationship to realize that we're each other's frustrations most
yeah,
of the
Yep.
time. But that's okay because that too can make an awesome working relationship.
yeah.
It's
It
true.
all
It's
works out.
true.
Well, Natalie, so I think things have changed since it's only been a couple years since I've been in college. Just a little bit.
Just a few.
Just a few, right? Wasn't like it was another millennium, literally. But so I think things have changed a little bit from back in the day. What do you think some of the biggest challenges are for students at Concordia right now that they're going through that you've seen?
Yeah, that's a great question. I definitely see a lot of like career uncertainty. Like
Mm,
people are very passionate about what they're studying, but they're not sure what to do when they graduate because
Mhm.
there aren't many like right now the job market's really rough and it's hard to get certain jobs, but also like not knowing if like that's something they want to do for the rest of their life kind of and like
Mhm.
the pressure of what are you doing after college like when you go home for
Mhm.
Christmas with all your family you're like I don't know like should I know and so I just see a lot of that and I feel that too as a student as a senior it's like you always hear people talking about like you don't know what you're going to do after you graduate but it's like oh it's actually coming up and I'm definitely a senior and I have to be thinking about this so that's definitely a big challenge that I think everyone's facing just because no one has it completely figured out. And if they think they do, some things come up and they change their mind and it's just never certain. And then also just a lot of expectations to perform well and do things that like look good on a resume that you're not sure if you can hang out with your friends because you have to do this other thing and there's just
Mhm.
like a lot of pressure and you want to have the best time in college but you also need to be thinking about your future and your career and all of that. And so I think that at times gets really overwhelming of like, am I doing this right? And am
Mhm.
I making the most of my college experience because it is going so fast? And did I do the right things? So those are definitely
Wow.
some struggles that I have seen and I've experienced myself.
Wow. Well, we appreciate you being open and honest
Yeah.
with us. I mean, you certainly are juggling a whole lot of balls in the air when it comes to the various demands and commitments. I mean, we've talked a lot about what you've done from the leadership side of your house and your different projects and initiatives. But of course, like you said, you are a senior, so you're still spending time in class and studying and writing papers and all of those things. What advice do you have for your fellow students, or maybe those that are maybe in their freshman year and just starting that, to manage their multiple commitments, to really try to balance it all?
Yeah, it is a lot. I personally love being busy. If I don't have something to do, I don't know what to do with myself. I like need plans. I need to be busy. So that's something I know about myself. So I like having this chaos a little bit.
Mhm, mhm,
Um, but definitely so simple to-do lists. I would not know what to do without my to-do list. Like
mhm,
every day I sit down, I write out what I need to do for the day. And it looks a lot more manageable when I just have my priorities in front of me for the day instead of,
mhm,
oh my gosh, this week is crazy. Like I have a crazy week this week, but I looked at my to-do list this morning. I'm like, oh, that's easy. I can do that all in a day. And
mhm,
so to-do lists are definitely a must. And just knowing where my priorities are at. So like if I have an exam to study for Friday, but I have a paper due tomorrow, it's like, of course, I'm going to work on my paper first. And once I get my paper done, like I can full focus on the exam that I have to study for.
mhm,
So definitely knowing priorities is important. Time management, very important. And we have a lot more time than we realize. I feel
mhm.
like I've noticed that for myself of like, what am I doing in my day that I can cut out? So like this week, I for a class actually had to reduce my screen time on my phone. So
Mm.
I deleted all my social media apps, and it's crazy how much time I have without social media. So
Yes.
having
But what were your top three like social media apps? What is it?
Instagram, TikTok, I don't really just those 2. I don't really
Okay.
have a third.
Facebook
But
is done,
definitely
right?
just
Nobody uses
yeah, I
Facebook, right?
don't I have a Facebook, but I've never
Yeah.
used
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. 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 That's what I thought. Yep.
You might need to update your apps over there, Gilbert.
Yep. Tough stuff.
Should
Sorry.
start a TikTok for sure.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, but it's definitely like crazy having so much more time than I even
Ah,
realized just because of things that I'm not even like processing that I'm doing every day or waking up earlier. So it's like it's really about like how you want to spend your time and how you want to manage your time. And I think that like if you want to do everything, like you can. Like
mm,
whatever you want to do,
yeah.
you can because I am doing so much more than I ever thought I could and it's like working for me. So definitely just know yourself, check in with yourself of like if you're struggling, like be honest with yourself and with the people around you of like how you can be supported. Like luckily my boss is like the most understanding person in the world. So like if I'm having an off day or if I have a big exam coming up, like she'll be like, "Oh, don't worry, like you can take the day off if you need to." Like
Yeah.
she's very understanding. So just being honest with others and they'll support you where you need to be supported.
I wanted to kind of piggyback on one thing you said a minute ago, Natalie, and that was about just sometimes the feelings that you get as others are, asking you, well, what are you doing after graduation? Or what's your career choice? Or how's it going? And I'm sure I've been guilty of that. I know with whether it's my students or members in my family. And I'm starting to think like, yeah, that probably does put a little pressure. So, what are some things that people like Gilbert and I can do, or the parents, or the older siblings, or those out there who we mean well and we're excited for you? But is there a different way we could approach those conversations for a student like yourself so that it doesn't come off so
Yeah,
maybe
I
intimidating?
love that question. I mean, I don't think it really like it's not like a you should stop saying that because it's such
Oh,
a normal question, but I think it
right.
does like put pressure in a time frame like in our
Yes,
minds of like, oh
yes.
my gosh, this is coming up. And it's good to think about. I will say that.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to approach it in a different way, I definitely think like, what are you passionate about right now is like a
Mm,
great question of like, it doesn't really imply that you need to figure out what you're doing for the future, but it's also like, what are you passionate about right now? And that'll probably go into what they are thinking about for the future, or you can talk with them about options about what they are passionate about. And that's like something that people love to talk about. It's like, oh, what am I passionate about? I'll tell you. So
yes.
I feel like that's a great question to ask. And I love that you asked that.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, I think it's a good thing for those of us on kind of the other side of that because we all went through it like Gilbert said, a millennium ago. But it's different. The choices we're making are different because the job market's different. And the case of the matter is the majority of the students like yourself are walking in to careers that you likely won't necessarily be in for the next 50 or 60 years. Or if you are, it's going to probably change dramatically, right? So it's a little different when you're seeking out those first roles. And I think it's nice for the support systems to be understanding for that too.
Well,
Definitely.
and I think about it, Ashley, right? I mean, they're doing this podcast now, right? When we were in college, they're really, I mean, maybe you're so much younger, but maybe podcasts were a thing when you were in college and stuff, but it wasn't. And so some of these things you might go out and do, Natalie, or other students may not be even a thing yet, may not be around. So
True.
that's
That's
what's
very
kind of
true.
exciting. So I like that. What are you passionate about? Even thinking about an area, right? Because it takes time. It takes time to figure out what that is, and also what doors God opens up for you. Yeah. Well, I know faith is a big deal to you, right? And
Yes.
so being a Christian, being here at Concordia, how do you integrate, how does your faith influence your approach to leadership?
Yeah, I love this question. I mean, I think it's a basic answer, but love is always my number one. Like, I'm always just wanting to show love to everyone around me, really like get to know people as
Mhm.
Jesus would get to know people. And I think that that is just the most basic form of leadership because you want to follow people that show you that love and that give you the time to like be known. And so I think that that's just such a big part of leadership for me. And being ASCUI president, I want to get to know everyone at the school, of course. And so even just like freshman orientation, like I just want to get to know these new students and make them really know that like I want to get to know you. I want you to know that like you're important to me and like to our family here at Concordia. And I think that that's just something I really want to show to everyone, but also um a quote that I heard one time like going into like leadership when I'm like nervous and I feel like I'm not prepared to like take on these roles is that like God doesn't call the equipped, he equips those who are called.
Mm.
So like feeling that like imposter syndrome of like
Mhm.
I'm the president of the student body. I don't know, that feels like scary to me, but it's like he doesn't need me to be perfect. He wants
No.
me to get better and he wants to equip me to make a difference in people's lives and lead other students. So that's definitely something that I need to remind myself of all the time.
Well, you're doing a great job at it, Natalie. We can definitely tell you that. And that whole piece about the relationships and just loving other people, that is something that is not going to go out of style or no matter what jobs or industries go up or down, that need for true relationship and love and connection with other people is always going to be around. Oh my gosh. Well, we cannot thank you enough for sharing some of your time, for adding us to your to-do list today.
Yes.
We're so
Yes.
Yes.
thankful. We're so thankful that you spent time. And it's just been such a pleasure getting to know you better personally, but just to hear um, just what a leader you are, kind of in this young adulthood, getting ready to leap off to whatever is in store for you down the road, which is going to be great. And whatever you're passionate about, be careful with that. But we always leave our listeners, our final question is, what is your takeaway tip that you want people to remember from today?
Well, I am in this psychology course right now, and we're reading a book about called The Good Life, and it's about relationships and that relationships are the best part or the biggest part of having a good life.
Hmm.
And you can't have relationships without putting your attention to those relationships. So kind of just understanding like where are you putting your attention every day, and being
Mm.
aware of that has helped me so much to cultivate better relationships and have a better life. So for example, like I deleted my social media for
Yeah.
this
Right.
week and
Right.
I think I'm going to keep it this way because I am putting so much more attention on the things that actually matter and the people that actually matter. And so yeah, my tip is just to check in with yourself every day, a couple times a day. Set a reminder on your phone. Where are you putting your attention right now? Because
Mm.
that is such a it's a game changer, honestly, for me.
Absolutely.
Like everything has been different since I've been asking myself that question. And
Mm.
my life has just been so much fuller and I'm a lot more present with people and the things that I love.
That's amazing. What a great takeaway tip. What do you think, Gilbert? Where are you putting your
Natalie,
attention?
Natalie, you nailed it, right? I mean, because they make the social media to like get you to focus on it, and you found a way to focus on what's really important, focus on your faith, and focus on others. So thanks for sharing that. This has been fantastic.
Well,
Awesome.
thank you, Natalie. And we will certainly be praying for you and keeping you in our thoughts.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
If you enjoy the Townsend Institute podcast series, head to our website at cui.edu/Townsend to find out more about the certificates, bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees offered through Concordia University, Irvine. With programs in mental health counseling, executive coaching and consulting, and organizational leadership, we have a variety of faith-based programs dedicated to helping you fulfill your academic and professional goals, all the while furthering your competence, character, and connection. Again, that's cui.edu/Townsend.